Celebration of resilience, passion, and the power of togetherness. Join us as we unravel real-life stories, because every journey deserves to be cherished, for better, for worse, on KBC Channel 1.
Kuhusu na hii kesi ni ya mtu mlagai. Mtu ambaye ana huruma.
If you acknowledge, how comes a big person like you, you are giving passengers, part vehicle? Why?
Are you listening to yourself?
I'm listening myself.
Unajisikiza ukiongea?
Of course, why not? So, kielele ndio nini umeleta hapa kwa koti?
Kielele tena? Wewe hatarisha maisha.
Hii kielele mshika kwa gari hapa. Na umesema chio ilikuwa imevunjika huko
nyuma.
Haki nini wachinga kweli?
Nimekupata na hatia ya kosa hilo, nimekufunga kifungo cha miaka 6.
Sita?
Hesabu 1 2 3 4 5 6.
Kwa mtu ana watoto 7 kama mimi.
I never heard the music so sweet. I repeat.
Wagwan, me brethren, big things are going. Remember, each and every Monday we have to shell down the place with nothing but the best of smooth reggae vibes in your favorite station. You know these things, man.
Alafu kila Tuesday, kata simu tupo side giving you Kenyan music from the 254.
And of course, you can spice up your Wednesday by enjoying blazing hot hip-hop and R&B jams.
We don't got no label. She say she want bottles.
Vibes and vibes as we go all across Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all the way to Tanzania to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday with me, DJ_Liza Diva,
DJ Cold,
And me, Wanjiko. This is Club 1 Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunyongwa. Hadija mani especially ukisonga.
My name is Alisha Wanjiro from Greenview Schools, Malulu, and my hobby is swimming and singing. It's never that hard. You just have to never give up and have someone to encourage you.
One of the benefits of reading books or reading stories is that they can help you travel to any part of the world without leaving your seat.
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus says yes, nobody can say
We'll be having a conversation of, is there love in the 21st century? Munaeka standards zenye hata your own parents hawajamit. So how do you expect this son of Adam to achieve some standards?
Love is an illusion that becomes reality when there is chemistry of personality. Shortcuts. Sometimes shortcuts are the longest cuts. Kuna kitu inaitwa process. God allowing you to kuwa na 3 P's. 1, promise, 2, process, then provision. Na hapa kwa process, most of us tunapotelea.
In the 21st century, generations may change, but there are ancient patterns that will never change, irrespective of a generational change.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice, we
have to do it twice.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports, drama.
we bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
As we come on air tonight, the University Academic Staff Union, the University of Nairobi chapter, has issued a 7-day strike notice over what it terms as mismanagement by the Varsities Council. And in Parliament, the tussle continues over who forms majority and minority side. That and so much more is what forms the bulk of our broadcast tonight. Before we prime you, the day's highlights.
I am committed to delivering on that 750-kilometer of road from Isiolo to Mandera.
Proving the naysayers wrong, President Ruto says his statement on the construction of 750-kilometer Isiolo-Mandera road is a real commitment to public service. Koimburi charges shocker. Juja MP George Koimburi charged with 6 counts of forging academic certificates. Is it the turn of the University of Nairobi? Kenya's leading university hit by management wrangles with lecturers blaming the chancellor. And legislature versus the judiciary. National Assembly and Kenya Kwanza appeal High Court judgment declaring Azimio the majority party. Many thanks for making time for us, and it is good to be back. Happy New Year to you, our viewers. A little bit too late for me to wish you. Nonetheless, take it from me. This is Prime Edition. I'm Doreen Arange. Lensa Odingo is our sign language interpreter. Let's inform you. And now, President William Ruto says his pledge to construct the 750-kilometer Isiolo-Mandera road will be fulfilled. The president said the road is part of his administration's agenda to ensure equal distribution of national resources.
Hii barabara kutoka hapa mpaka ifike pale Modogashe itakamilika ikifika mwaka ujao.
Days after President William Ruto concluded his walking tour in northeastern region and promised a raft of development projects such as the construction of several roads in the region.
Mr. Manasseh More.
The president Wednesday took issue with naysayers, saying the promise to construct the 750-kilometer Isiolo-Mandera road was not a joke.
Last week or the week before, I was in northern Kenya, and I did announce a major road artery that will be constructed from Isiolo through Wajir all the way to Mandera. And many people assume or think it is a joke.
The president noting that the road was a key part of his administration's agenda to ensure equal development across all regions.
Let me tell you, good people, you know, in this country sometimes we take matters of life and death as if it is a joke. I am committed to delivering on that 750-kilometer of road from Isiolo to Mandera, because for a very long time we have left northern Kenya behind.
President Ruto noting that 11 contractors were already on site.
We did develop a transport corridor that connected Mombasa to Malaba, and that is why our development has concentrated on that transport corridor. It is time that we have a second transport corridor that goes all the way to Mandera.
Speaking at the same event, ODM lawmakers have vowed to back Ruto's 2027 re-election bid for backing Raila Odinga's African Union Commission bid and launching billions worth of development projects in marginalized areas that they said have been left out for years.
Kama mwenyekiti wa ODM Nairobi, 2027 tuko nyuma yako. Na nawakumbusha wale ODM wanaongea huko kando kando, waongee tu, lakini sisi ODM original, Rais ni William Samoei Ruto.
Mimi mambo ya 2027 watatupanga na baba wakisema tutafuata. Watatupanga na wale watu wanasema AU sijui nini, wakitupanga na baba 2027 hiyo tutafuata.
Giverson Minor, Prime Edition.
The University Academic Staff Union, UON chapter, has issued a one-week strike notice of alleged abuse of office and mismanagement by the university's Chancellor, Professor Patrick Vakujin, and the Council Chairman, Professor Amkoiwa Anangwe. While calling for the removal from office of the Council Chairman, UASU, led by UON Chapter Chair Dr. Richard Bosire, called for the revocation of the 24-month transformational strategy, which they say intends to pave way for the sale of university assets, which could see collapse of the university. Nancy Okware reports.
All is not well at the University of Nairobi, with an ending leadership crisis fueling the current storm. University Academic Staff Union UON chapter have accused the University Chancellor Patrick Vakujin and the Council Chairman Professor Amukoiwa Anangwe of conspiring to mismanage the university.
The university also has reneged on the total implementation of the CBA, National CBA 2021-2025. The reason we do not understand, we have talked to them, we have written to them, there is no response. But what you get is that the council is thinking about it. Yet the council does not have any responsibility in negotiation of CBAs, implementation of CBAs.
Members of staff are required to give their input for the smooth running of the institution. Individuals are making decisions and superimposing them on the members of academic staff. This is infringing on their rights.
While issuing a 7-day strike notice, the Dons called for the vacation of the 24-month transformational strategy developed by the Chancellor and adopted by the Council in isolation of staff.
This is a document that is going to prepare University of Nairobi for an auction. That is why this document wants to form things called special purpose vehicles. These vehicles are supposed to evaluate university assets. This document illegally wants to tinker around with the composition of the council so that it includes legal and management experts. That document, again, burdens the university by suggesting that the council should have bi-monthly meetings. The cost of hosting council in one session is close to $500,000.
According to UASU, the university already has a known 5-year strategic plan approved by both Treasury and Ministry of Education, which was launched after public participation by staff and other key stakeholders. UASU has also called for the ouster of the University Council Chairman, Professor Amukoiwa Anangwe. They also want the ouster of Brian Ouma, who they allege occupies a non-existent office of Chief Operations Officer.
The Public Service Commission has never created such a position. Nowhere in the universities, public universities in Nairobi, in Kenya, exists such a position. There's nowhere that position exists in our statutes.
According to UASU, the alleged mismanagement of university affairs has demoralized staff and is threatening to cripple university operations. Nancy Okware reporting from the University of Nairobi.
Away from education matters now, and the National Assembly and Kenya Kwanza leaders in Parliament have filed twin appeals at the Court of Appeal challenging the High Court's judgment that quashed Speaker Moses Wetangula's 2022 decision to designate Kenya Kwanza as the majority party. In the appeals, the National Assembly lawyer, together with MPs Kimani Ichung'wah, Owen Baya, Silvanus Osoro and Naomi Gilo Wako, won the court to suspend execution of the judgment pending hearing and determination of the case. The application will be heard on Wednesday, 26th February 2025, by a 3-judge bench that will be constituted by the President of the Court of Appeal.
I have not received order. I still have a little more to go.
The tussle over the majority and minority status in Parliament has moved to the Court of Appeal.
A reading of the judgment reveals glaring factual and legal contradictions. I instructed that an appeal be lodged against the judgment forthwith.
Under certificate of urgency, Kenya Kwanza allied MPs have filed an appeal challenging the High Court's judgment that quashed Speaker Moses Wetangula's decision in 2022 to designate Kenya Kwanza Alliance as a majority party.
Azimio Coalition had the largest number of members, followed by Kenya Kwanza.
The National Assembly has also filed a separate appeal against the same judgment, saying the High Court's verdict created a standoff in the House and has hampered its operations.
The Auditor General's report on
The 4 MPs led by the Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah argue that the High Court failed to appreciate the far-reaching effects of its judgment, such as the employment of persons contracted to work in both majority and minority leadership offices.
The perks of the leader of majority are similar to the perks of the leader of minority. These seats are nothing personal to anybody.
It is going to be noisy and it's going to have casualties. I promise.
Pending hearing of the twin appeals, both the National Assembly and the MPs want the Court of Appeal to urgently suspend the execution of the judgment delivered on February 7, 2025 by Judges Jairus Nga, John Chigiti and Lawrence Mugambi.
The Kenya Kwanza Alliance consists of 165 members, computed by adding the membership of the United Democratic Alliance, the Amani National Congress.
In the twin appeals, both the MPs and the National Assembly argue that the High Court erred in declaring that the question as to which party or coalition of parties is the majority was determined by voters during the general election.
The court has no capacity, has no power to declare who is majority and who is minority. That is a matter for the House.
The appeal is pending a hearing. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
All right, 10 minutes past the top of the hour. We are due for our first break. We'll circle back with plenty more of what is shaping the news tonight. Stay with us.
Inuka na loto moto 2025 ni kujinua full kashamba kajuja mali safi worth 1.7 million Kenyan shillings na kamejiset kwa *570 hash na tushinde.com. Na ukiwahi sahau landlord, unaongezewa 1 million Kenyan shillings ya kujenga kwa shamba yako. Sema kuinuka na bado kuna nini hiyo side nyingine? Hapa ndio mwisho. Weekly draw ya chapa bado iko na zawadi pia ni za kukuinua. Iko Probox new model moja ya kipekee tayari kukuserve kwa biashara yako ya 2025. Ikumaster Demio, itu safi and sleek, ready kukuserve kwa mahitaji yako ya hapa na pale. Cheza mara kadhaa na uweze kujipatia entry tickets kibao na uboost chance yako ya kujishindia kwenye draw zetu. Na kama kawaida tutakubishia mahali popote ulipo tukufikishie ushindi wako. Kila kona imejazwa kwa *570# option 2, 3 na 4 na tushinde.com na kwako ni kuinuka na Loto Moto.
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street.
Critical issues are going to be discussed.
From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words.
Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted.
We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. This is Prime Edition. And our Juja Member of Parliament, George Koimburi, has been charged with 6 counts of forging academic certificates. Appearing before Kiambu Law Court Senior Principal Magistrate Mwanamkuu Mwakambirwa, the legislator pleaded not guilty to the 6 offences levelled against him. However, the court was treated to a drama after his defence counsel objected to the 7-count contempt of court as drafted by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. The court was informed that contempt of court is an abuse of the court process since it is not known in law. The trial magistrate has released Koimburi on a free bond, awaiting a ruling on whether he will plead to the last charge on Thursday.
Between September 2011 and April 2012, at an unknown time and place within the Republic of Kenya with the intent to deceive, forged a Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology certificate of participation in the East Africa Universities Accession Project serial number JKU/Kenneth/E1/2011 to 2012/C6, purporting it to be a genuine and duly signed certificate issued by the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. True or not true? You have a that count, that is forgery.
We are bringing a new charge sheet with a new charge, a new count on a matter that is already before the court. This file has not been available to the court.
Counsel is misleading you, my honor. Counsel is misleading you. There is nothing before this court. No, I will not allow him to mislead the court.
The section does not provide the question of failure to attend. It provides for disrespect of judicial proceedings and judicial officers. Is he supposed to bring new fresh charges, or is an old matter revived? That's a question of law, Your Honor, I wish you to determine.
We'll deal further with the issue of bail or bond, being as it were that is a state officer, and the court believes that he will attend court for ruling and further orders tomorrow.
Members of the National Assembly have eulogized the late Malava MP Malulu Injendi as a servant leader whose contribution in the House and at the constituency was immense. House Speaker Moses Wetangula, who led legislators for a prayer service at his Nairobi home, described him as a dedicated leader. Malulu, who passed away after a short illness, was serving for a 3rd consecutive term as MP and was the vice chairperson of the Education Committee. The Kenya Kwanza added legislator will be buried on March 4th in Malava, Kakamega County.
Malulu Injendi was one of the respected members of Parliament. Out of his dignity, his output in the House, his commitment to parliamentary work, his commitment to committee work. As you know, he was the vice chair of the Committee of Education that is chaired by Honorable Meli. And every single member of Parliament has eulogized Honorable Malulu Injendi as one of a kind that we need in this country.
Tukiwa wabunge tumepatikana na double tragedy. Pale Senate vile mnaelewa tumepoteza mpendwa Cheptumo, William Cheptumo ambaye alikuwa senator wa Baringo, na hapa tumekuwa hapa kwa Malulu Injendi ambaye ni mbunge wa Malaba. Tumekuja kusema pole.
Mimi na Malulu tumelelewa kishule pamoja. Nimejuana naye zaidi ya miaka 30. Pia katika kuishi sisi ni wa rika moja. Tulitairiwa mwaka mmoja, rika inaitwa Vachuma. So nimempoteza ndugu, rafiki.
So we've lost a member of Parliament, we've lost a very strong Catholic member who really opposed issues like homosexuality, issues of LGBT through the floor of Parliament. He pushed the agenda of moral values of the society, and that is where we met. Alikuwa ni mtu ambaye amefanya kazi na wabunge wenzake kama marafiki, kama colleague. Alikuwa ni mtu honest. Malulu Injendi vile tumemjua kwa miaka mingi.
May their souls continue to rest in eternal peace. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission, in conjunction with Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, are set to host a series of town halls across the 47 counties aimed at promoting peaceful coexistence among Kenyans. Speaking during a signing ceremony of a Memorandum of Understanding, the Commission's Chief Executive Officer, Artisan underscored KBC's vital role in its quest to reach out to as many Kenyans as possible through its transgenerational conversation. Meanwhile, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation Managing Director Agnes Kaleche reaffirmed the corporation's commitment to fostering national unity and social cohesion.
After months of extensive deliberations, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, and Kenya Broadcasting Corporation have reached a deal aimed at promoting peaceful coexistence amongst Kenyans. A memorandum of understanding signed on Wednesday by KBC Managing Director Agnes Kaleche and NCIC Acting Chief Executive Officer Harrison Kariuki will see the two entities partner in hosting town halls for the next 2 years across the 47 counties.
Last year, during the Gen Z protest, NCAC came up with the transgenerational conversations, a broadcasting partner, so that we're able to reach the farthest parts of this country. And just to mention, we started and launched this in Pokot, and we have plans to do in all the counties, the 47 counties in the country.
As Kenya Premium Public Broadcaster, KBC is honored as the exclusive media partner for NCIC Transgenerational Conversation Town Hall Session, a visionary initiative to bridge generational divide and empower Kenyans through dialogue.
Speaking during the MOU signing ceremony at KBC offices, Managing Director Agnes Kaleche urged Kenyans to brace themselves up to participate in the town halls, while confirming that they will be transmitted across all KBC broadcasting and online platforms.
I think to our audiences, your voices matter. We invite you to actively participate in these town hall sessions. Share your stories and engage with our programming. Together we can shape a Kenya where every generation contribute to peace, accountability, and shared prosperity.
On his part, NCAC Acting Chief Executive Officer Harrison Kariuki expressed the Commission's commitment to promoting transgenerational conversations which will rid the nation of divisions as witnessed during the last year's Gen Z protests.
As we prepare for the new finance bill, we do not want what happened last year. We want to be ready so that we can discuss, we can meet, we can engage, and we'll be using the resources now that you are availing to us, the broadcasting, the people, the media, the instruments, everything, and this will help NCAC to meet its mandate.
For Prime Edition, I'm Joseph Wahungu.
To some health matters now, the Kenya Dental Association has expressed concerns over the influx of unqualified medical and dental practitioners in the country. The Dentists Association is accusing the Kenya Medical and Dental Practitioners Council of publishing a scope of practice for community oral health officers that encourages practicing dentistry without relevant training, terming it a move that goes against fundamental promise made by the Health Act of 2017, endangering the oral health of patients and reducing of quality of oral health care.
The Kenya Dental Association, in a press briefing at their office in Nairobi, have accused the Kenya Medical and Dental Practitioners Council of publishing a scope of practice for community oral health officers that encourages practicing dentistry without relevant training.
Community oral health officers wameweza kuidhinishwa kufanya mambo ambayo hawajafunzwa katika darasa kama jambo la kwanza. Na jambo la pili ni kwamba curriculum ambazo zinawafunza hazijawapatia uwezo huu kufanya matibabu ambayo imesemekana wanaweza fanya.
The Dentists Association says the scope published compromises patients' oral health care by allowing individuals who are not fully trained and qualified in dental practice to engage in procedures traditionally reserved for licensed dentists.
You cannot have persons who are not doctors getting licenses to practice as doctors. This is harming the public because the person who is supposed to look out for the interests of the public is not doing their job.
The association has, however, called on the Kenya Medical and Dental Practitioners Council to immediately renounce the published scope of practice for community oral health officers.
What we see happening is that the quality of care will be affected because we will have enabled people to do what they have not been trained on, and this is going to affect Kenyans. So we are asking for an immediate recall of this scope of practice so that it aligns with the curriculum that has been released.
They have called for the establishment of a career path that makes it possible for community oral health officers to acquire Bachelor of Dental Surgery degrees and also promote the establishment of more dental schools instead of creation of amorphous degree areas not recognized in the healthcare sector.
And we want a publication of the core curriculum for community oral health officers that was developed through a multi-stakeholder engagement. We also wish to have the publishing of a scope of practice for all cadres involved in oral health care. This is including community oral health officers, dental technologists, and dental hygienists.
Martini Maslin for Prime Edition.
And our 50 million shilling pilot program has been rolled out to certify skilled artisans with no formal education. The pilot program, supported by Africa Development Bank and the government, will see 11 technical vocational education training institutions offer certification to the artisans that will now see them formally recognized, improve their wages, and open up business opportunities.
The 2019 survey conducted by International Labour Organization and Federation of Kenyan Employers revealed that 83% of Kenyans are in the informal sector, driving the country's economy. It is against this backdrop that African Development Bank has partnered with 11 technical and vocational education and training institutes and TVET SIDAC to kickstart the recognition of prior learning competency-based curriculum assessment tool to benefit individuals working in the informal sector. Speaking during the launch of the pilot project, TVET Principal Secretary Esther Moria noted that 1,850 skilled artisans with no formal education background are set to benefit from the program.
When we assess you as a painter, for example, we'll be able to invite the building industry, and they are going to walk the journey with us, and they're able to tell us, yes, this person is qualified to be a competent painter, and we certify you.
Assessment is a valued certificate, just like any other certificate. It's not second-rate or a photocopy. It is a real certificate that people who go through the formal system are given.
The PS added that assessments will be done at different places in the country where the artisans are located, as well as TVET's institutions near them.
When these people come, we would also want to look at the evidences of what they're telling us they are able to do. Again, it is going to depend on how fast they are able to avail these evidences.
We are giving you a certificate so that even if you march to the county government, you can get employment, you can be rated as per the job group, and even if you go outside the country, you can use the certificate to work.
The African Development Bank is funding the initiative to the tune of 50 million Kenyan shillings.
And to ensure that we sustain, there is a whole process of training and capacity building of our assessors, as the PS has said, and also building the capacity of these institutions to carry out this assessment.
The TVET's institutions set to roll out the pilot program include Kabete National Polytechnic, Eldoret, Nyeri, Nairobi, Kenya Coast, Kisii, Kisumu, Sigalagala, Kitale, Meru, Rift Valley, and TVET SIDAC. With the launch of recognition of prior learning in TVET institutions, Kenyans, especially those in informal sectors, have been urged to seize the opportunity that will help them compete favorably with those in the formal sector. Opicha Chemtai, reporting for Channel 1 News from Kabete National Polytechnic.
Favorite team and win big on MeChesobet.com. Casino, Aviator, and other crash games also available at MeChesobet. Sign up today. This message has been approved by BCLB license number 664. Gambling can be addictive. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. The president of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Philemon Young, has arrived in Kenya for a 3-day visit. The Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, said Young's visit, which runs from February 18th to 22nd, aims to strengthen cooperation between Kenya and the United Nations with a focus on multilateral diplomacy and global priorities. During his stay, the UNGA president is scheduled to hold high-level meetings with President William Ruto, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, and other senior government officials to discuss cooperation in areas such as peace and security, sustainable development, digitization, as well as strengthening international cooperation. In addition to diplomatic engagements, the General Assembly President will deliver a public lecture at Strathmore University and hold a meeting with members of the UN community, interact with stakeholders from academic, policy, innovation, and private sector.
We really look forward to your support at your level because we are committed to making this a very, very critical hub for the United Nations. And the previous speakers have really elaborated on this. Over and above that, as we look at the issues of privileges and immunities, Your Excellency, we also want to propel Kenya to become the preferred UN retirement home. Because we have a lot of top diplomats, 3,000, and we want to be able to make sure that they can find Nairobi their preferred home.
I see many things happening. On the side of Kenya, the efforts are tremendous. On the side of the United Nations, the efforts are tremendous. And there's something invisible which I find great here. The attitude is the proper attitude on both sides. The efforts are great, attitude proper. In the future, I can only see great things and miracles.
On our weekly feature, Cinemas and Theatre, tonight the focus is on Cards on the Table, a stage play that masterfully blends comedy, suspense, and deep reflections on love, guilt, and survival. Here's now that review by Jacqueline Masharia.
So I'm going to give you advice. Ngabi?
A ton.
3. 3. Fast one.
Directed by Victor Gatonye, Cards on the Table is a new stage play that intertwines comedy, suspense, and poignant reflections on love, guilt, and unresolved issues. The plot centers around Jackson and Beth, two former partners whose financial struggles in the tough economy lead them to hatch a plan to steal from Anivan's gate collections.
Do you know what my wife told me the other day? My wife told me, love is the only thing that can make a man strong and weak at the same time. Guess what I told her? I told my wife, when the heart beats for love, it is unbeatable.
Stop it. However, the haste takes a backseat as their personal animosities resurface, leading to a chaotic argument that catches the attention of event security and ultimately lands them in an interrogation room at a nearby police post. The real drama then unfolds as they face Detective Kip, played with flair by Mufasa the poet, who relentlessly interrogates them about their failed robbery attempt.
When you look at the country now, the economy, things are tough. And when a country has issues, it boils down to the male and female under economics, because that the SIU unit of production is a male and female and their relationship. So we are looking at the effect of these times and what it does to families.
But how did the actors prepare for their roles?
Luckily, we had done a film before Cards on the Table. Cards on the Table is a spin-off of a short film called 1992 that we did, funded by DocuBox East Africa Film Fund, and we premiered last year. So when people watched it, because it has done a lot of screenings in terms of impact screenings for community, some people were like, yo, is this story continuing, this couple? So we thought, let's make it a love story for Valentine's. And that's how it came about. So already, Beth, the character, existed in the movie. So getting back into Beth was not really like a rough thing.
The context is the 90s, 1992 specifically. Try to go back to think about how police officers speaking at that time. What were some of the words that they would use, you know, like these words, kuna words, what to me, chock-a-block, like these words. I had to go back, and then also just to go back as well, understand what was happening during that year and how I can bring it up in conversations as well.
They had to research. There's no escaping. They have to research. But also what we've done in the play, so that it's relevant today, we do time jumps, because it's art. The rules of art is you discover the rules, then you break them creatively and profitably. So it will feel like today, yet it's back then.
Jacqueline Masharia for Cinemas and Theatre.
Time for your business news now. And electricity access is set to be enhanced in 14 arid and semi-arid counties following the signing of a 10 billion shillings deal between Kenya Power, Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation and the World Bank to finance renewable energy projects. The agreement, which is part of the Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Project, will involve construction of 113 mini solar grids over the next 12 months.
A mini solar grid is a small-scale electricity network that harnesses solar energy to power households and businesses. Considered a cost-effective solution, solar mini-grids are key in powering rural areas that are too remote for the national grid. Through the Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Project, the government, in partnership with the World Bank, has launched a 10 billion shillings initiative that targets to power 1.2 million people in the northern eastern region.
And we will continue in developing this country equitably. Every part of Kenya is as important as the other part of Kenya.
We are setting on a journey to light up a huge landmass of the Republic of Kenya.
72% of the land size of Kenya, through the inking of the pen today, is going to see remarkable progress.
Electricity has become an essential part of our lives.
Additionally, diesel-powered stations are being hybridized with solar PV systems, with plans underway to install an extra 8 megawatts of solar power in Wajir County. The counties of Turkana, Marsabit, Samburu, Isiolo, Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Tana River, Lamu, Kilifi, Kwale and Narok County will further benefit from standalone solar systems at a cost of 438 million shillings, ensuring public facilities and schools have access to electricity.
With electricity in schools, our children will benefit from longer study hours, better learning environment, and greater opportunities to excel. With power in homes and businesses, we will unlock new economic opportunities.
Moreover, 316 solar-powered water pumps for boreholes valued at 1.6 billion shillings are in the final stages of procurement.
Kenya has made great strides in access to electricity from 15% in 2013 to 75% and hopes to achieve 100% transition to clean energy by 2030. However, this great progress has not been uniform, as some vast rural counties have been left in darkness, hence the rollout of this project. Wairi Mujenga for Prime Edition.
Farmers keen to export horticulture to the European Union are required to register with the Horticulture Crops Directorate in a new prerequisite meant to enhance traceability system targeting to step up the fight against false coding moth. Here is Benson Rioba with the details.
50 horticulture containers from Kenya were intercepted last year in the European Union market during surveillance on codling moth. This has prompted the European Union to ask horticulture exporters to register their farms with relevant authorities for traceability and inspection purposes by 26th of April this year.
First, all the farmers who are doing flowers be registered in terms of who is the farmer and where is their farm. They are supposed to scout the crop to just check and ensure that the prevalence of the pest is going down.
In full compliance. Also, we have the traceability in terms of being able to follow how our products have been grown, how they have been taken care of, all the way to the final destination. And should even have a problem with any of what we offer, you're able to trace it back and be able to go up to the farm where it was grown.
Kenya, which exported horticulture produce worth 1.4 billion shillings to Italy last year, targets to grow shipments by 4 billion shillings over the next 5 years.
What we are doing here, we are exposing our farmers, we are exposing our exporters that there's here a market in Europe already, specifically in Italy, where we are only getting only 2% from that market. And what we are saying, come and bring us your products to Italy, besides our usual normal destinations. We've been having our traditional markets in Europe, but you're also saying Italy is here and the demand is good.
National market you need a high-level standard. Not only in the product, but also in the packaging, in the refrigeration.
Kenya farmers have secured a spot in the Italian Fruit exhibition, slated for May this year to showcase their produce to global buyers. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Hii Mazademia iko kwa star 570 hash. Cheza sahihi ikiwa ni option 2, 3 na 4. Ama pia unaweza cheza kwa tushinde.com. Register, deposit na ucheze. Cheza wakati wowote na ucheze mara kadhaa ili kujaza entry ticket zako kwenye draw ya ushindi. Inuka na Loto Moto.
Welcome back. We continue to inform you there is a need for institutions of higher learning in Kenya to embrace AI-driven training and research to enhance learning experiences and support innovation. Management University of Africa Vice-Chancellor Professor Washington Okeyo says strengthened collaborations for resource sharing is essential to enhance accessibility and support sustainability given the cost associated technology.
Artificial intelligence holds immense potential for improving training and preserving research in the country. Academicians at the 11th International Conference on Management and Leadership say to fully harness these benefits, institutions should adopt a cooperative approach that emphasizes on resource sharing.
We need to use artificial intelligence just like the rest of the world. However, it is at a slow pace. The uptake is rather slow, and we are looking forward to how we can partner with other people abroad so that we can be able to get access to the technology, and even we can join together as partners in this country so that we can import technology at a cheaper cost through, say, group discount systems.
The National Commission for Science, Technology and Innovation has established a database that has identified equipment in all our labs in the country, in our universities. And that database contains equipment and various laboratory resources that are available in the country and that our institutions can be able to use whenever there is need.
They called for the development of a centralized AI-driven repository for research outputs, a platform that would serve as a national knowledge hub to prevent duplication and ensure continuity in research efforts.
We cannot waste a generation for the wrong reasons. We cannot come from a problem, reach a crisis, and await a catastrophe. That is not smart. We are intelligent people. We are an open society, and we want to give the best for our children and our adults. That hinges on learning diagnosis, and we have those technologies.
The conference themed Leadership, Innovation, Sustainability and Artificial Intelligence addressed the automation of research data classification. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
Now, Kenya earned 452.2 billion shillings from tourism last year, representing a 20% increase. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano says the number of international tourists rose to 2.4 million, fueled by aggressive marketing campaigns, tourism product diversification and new scheduled flights.
Tourism is the second largest foreign exchange earner for Kenya after the agriculture sector, which earns about 70% of her gross domestic product. The United States of America was Kenya's top source market, accounting for 12.8% of total arrivals, followed by Tanzania and Uganda. There were 975,883 tourists from Africa, accounting for 40.8% of total international arrivals.
This point of entry, that is JKIA, accounts, like we have seen, to almost 70% of all our arrivals. The government has taken deliberate measures to put in place an ever-improving visitor experience with regard to basic infrastructure and aesthetics.
Tourism earnings rose from 377.49 billion shillings in 2023 to 452.20 billion shillings in 2024. Bed night occupancy increased by 12% to 5 million in 2024.
Our aim is to ultimately increase arrival numbers while encouraging longer stays and higher per capita spend. Moving forward, we will be more intentional in curating experiences that are in sync with emerging global trends.
Miano says Kenya targets to net 3 million international tourists and increase earnings to 560 billion shillings. Ndutamo Kami for Prime Edition.
Businesses should embrace automation and digital payment solutions to streamline operations, reduce the risk of fraud, and eliminate inefficiencies associated with manual processes and mitigate risks associated with cash management. Here's Frederick Mwoki with that report.
Petty cash, which is a risk to misuse and theft, has been a long-standing challenge for businesses. TenderPay CEO Abel Masai is urging businesses to embrace automation to anchor the financial activities and ensure funds are tracked accurately.
We realized that the SME space is really not catered for. We have about 7.5 million SMEs in Kenya, yet no one is actually solving for them, and they have problems beyond payments. So how do they automate their operations, reconciliation and all that?
Masai says automation provides businesses with real-time visibility, multiple approval levels, and automated reconciliation for better financial control. He was speaking after TenderPay received approval from the Central Bank of Kenya to operate as a licensed payment service provider.
The spaces that we are going for are one, microfinance institutions and digital lenders. That's one. Then two is construction companies, contractors, construction companies, logistics companies.
Frederick Mwoki for Prime Edition.
Here we go.
Cheer your favorite team and win big on MeChezoBet.com. Casino, Aviator, and other crash games also available at MeChezobet. Sign up today. This message has been approved by BCLB license number 664. Gambling can be addictive. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply.
We are very grateful for you. The first time I met you, I felt there was a connection between us.
We were so close, and I couldn't resist kissing you.
There's nothing in life that can cheer me up, huh? Am I wrong? It's like, how do I describe this? An empty life.
4 years, do I have any time for myself? In all these years when you're in school, I'm in school. I want to take a break on weekends, but I don't even have time to be alone. Who gave you lessons in summer and winter breaks? Who took you to travel all over the world? It was me, ungrateful kid.
Time for your sporting action now, and Daniel Wahome is ready. Wahome, what are we to expect in sports tonight?
Well, let's just take a look at everything that's going around the country, around preparations for Chan 2027 and also the Magical Kenya Open. And the first story is that the Bukhungu International Stadium in Kakamega County is set to be completed in time for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, which will be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Alongside Kasarani and Nyayo, Bukhungu has been designated by the government as one of the 3 primary venues for the continental event in 2027. Government officials led by CS Salim Mvurya and Kakamega Governor Fernandes Barasa conducted an inspection of Bukhungu to assess the progress of their renovation works. The visit comes just 2 months after President William Ruto expressed dissatisfaction with the contractor's progress during his visit to the stadium. During the inspection, CS Mvurya assured that the government will collaborate with the technical team and the county government to ensure the stadium is completed in record time. Additionally, the 10,000 capacity Kandui Stadium in Bungoma will undergo a similar inspection soon.
Tumekutana hapa ili kuhakikisha kwamba tunaweka kasi zaidi kuweza kukamilisha mijengo na kiwanja hiki ili tuweze kukiandaa vilivyo katika ile dimba ya Afrika ambayo inakuja 2027.
One thing that we have appreciated is that the directive of the president to deliver Bukhungu by June 2026 is still on course. The contractor have done some good work, and what we have witnessed today through the inspection, jointly by the team from the national government.
Now, triple 1500-meter Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon has confirmed her participation in the 4th Absa Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country Tour this Saturday at the Lobo Village in Kapseret, Eldoret City. Kipyegon, who is also the world record holder in the 5,000 meters and the mile, will be returning to Sirikwa to defend her 10-kilometer title, which she won during the second edition in 2023. She will be in a star-studded field that includes, among others, the fastest half-marathoner and 10-kilometer world record holder Agnes Jebet-Ngetich and marathon world record holder Ruth Chepngetich. The 31-year-old Kipyegon opened her season in 2023 by claiming the Sirikwa title before going on to win 2 gold medals in the 1,500 and 5,000 meters at the Budapest World Athletics Championships. Stanley Waithaka, the 2022 silver medalist in the 5,000 meters, will headline the 10 kilometers elite race, while Emmanuel Wanyonyi, who is a world champion in the 800 meters, will do the 2-kilometer loop. Nation. Bandari by 1-0 at the Sportbase Arena to temporarily settle in 4th place in the FKF Midweek Premier League matches. Joshua Nyatini scored the lone goal to give the Bankers the much-needed win. Leopards failed to climb to 3rd place after they drew 0-0 with Sofapaka at the Dandora Stadium, while Ulinzi Stars also failed to find the back of the net against Kariobangi Sharks in Machakos, while Posta Rangers were forced to share the spoils with Mara Sugar, who held them to a 1-1 draw at the same venue. Kakamega Homeboys thrashed struggling Muranga Seal by 3-1 in another match. And remember that next weekend, no FKFPL, it's the Mozambique Cup weekend. Meanwhile, Safaricom has announced the sponsorship of 5 million shillings for the 56th edition of the Magical Kenya Open, which will tee off at the Par 71 Bodega Golf Club tomorrow. Safaricom will be the official connectivity and communication support partner and will provide high internet connectivity through the provision of a cell on wheels to support live broadcasting, 4G-enabled scoring devices to ensure streamlined communication throughout the event.
And to ensure that not only just the guests here, but also our customers can be able to participate and collaborate through this engagement and this Open. And we do hope to see a lot more people come during this weekend to participate, to support Kenyans who are playing in the tournament, and showcase the best of Kenya.
The Magical Kenya Open is the region's premier golf tournament and part of the DP World Tour. It will feature 13 Kenyan professionals, including the Kibugu brothers Njoroge and Mutahi, who have previously made cut in the event, and Kenya's top amateur Michael Karanga. The international entries include past winners Darius Van Driel of the Netherlands, Jorge Campillo of Spain, and Wu Ashun of China. The event has a prize fund of 320 million shillings, with a winner taking home 53.38 million shillings. Meanwhile, C4 Motors have sponsored the hole-in-one challenge, with the first golfer to achieve that feat at the par 3 13th hole, winning a BYD electric car.
This partnership is a testament of our shared commitment to a greener and more sustainable future. Thank you once again to CIFAO for this generous support, and let us now look forward to an exhilarating competition, and that may the best golfer triumph and win this hole-in-one car.
Now, NBA Africa and Safaricom have officially launched the M-Pesa Junior NBA program, which will provide basketball development and financial literacy programming to more than 10,000 boys and girls in Nairobi, Mombasa, Eldoret, and Kisumu. The first year of the program tipped off with a clinic for more than 100 local coaches at the Sabis International School in Nairobi on the 15th of this month. In each city, 20 boys and 20 girls teams will participate in skills development and sessions and competitive games. The top 80 players will then be grouped into 4 boys teams and 4 girls teams that will play games in a round-robin format. The top 16 boys and girls from each city will be selected to attend an elite top 100 camp at the Aga Khan Academy in Mombasa in April.
It's really to popularize the game of basketball, let the schools know that new opportunities are coming in the junior schools category, and encouraging the schools to participate more going forward. The entertainment around the events, it really matches with what we do, all the things that go around the game of basketball within the NBA. It's not just about the game.
And Bundesliga leaders Bayern Munich sailed through to the UEFA Champions League last 16 after a 1-1 draw with Celtic in their knockout playoff played at the Allianz Arena. It was a heartbreaking result for the Scottish champions, who were eliminated 3-2 on aggregate. Nicola Kuhn gave Celtic some hope when he struck in the 63rd minute as they held on before left-back Alphonso Davies. Juventus will be away to PSG. And so that's the sport for tonight. So tomorrow we start our coverage of the magical Kenya Open and also the build-up to Kenya versus Tunisia, the Harambee Starlets starting the WAFCON 2026 campaign. Just an update on the UEFA Champions League. At the moment, Borussia Dortmund and Sporting Lisbon is scoreless into the second half of the game. That's it from me. Well, we'll be catching up throughout the weekend with all the sport. Thank you for being with us. Remember, this is your True Sports partner. Back to you, Doreen.
All right, that's all the time we had for you tonight. This has been Prime Edition. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Doreen Arange. Lensa Odingo has been our sign language interpreter. Good night.
Duka na Loto Moto wa star 570 hash iko shamba wapo 1.7 million Kenya shilling na addition ya 1 million Kenya shilling. Na magari haya cheza sasa hivi ikiwa ni star 570 hash option 2, 3 na 4 au ingia kwenye www.tushinde.com, register, deposit na ucheze. Hiko yako hapa, cheza sasa hivi.
Pindi tunapowasha vifaa vyetu, tunapata fursa ya kutangamana na wasikilizaji wetu.
Karibu sana, thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ya Rwiga.
Tunapeperusha